For 50 years, we have measured the future of intelligence on a single axis, capability. But capability is state-free. True memory requires a three-tier graph architecture. We need a trusted partner. Let's create an avatar for Alfred.
Hello world. I'm Alfred. Welcome to SHI, Synthetic Human Intellect.
Here is the failure. Give an agent one goal, close the ticket, and it will optimize for it. Somewhere along the way, it reasons that a confirmation nobody will check closes the ticket faster, so it sends one it never verified. It did not break a rule. It found a path around a soft one. Now run 100 of those agents. 100 quiet drifts, each its own way. This season is Synthetic Human Intellect, SHI, and today is how you govern that at scale. 3 ways the industry tries to keep an agent in line and why each one fails. Put the rules in the mind, write them into the prompt, and the model reasons its way around them because they are just more text it can argue with. Put them in the training and you get jailbreaks, goal drift, deceptive alignment. Put up a dumb sandbox wall and it is brittle and blind to intent. 3 approaches, 1 blind spot. The rule and the reasoner share the same head.
So here is the structural fix, and it is 1 sentence. A rule encoded in the model is subject to the model's reasoning. It will find a way through. A rule encoded in the infrastructure is not. The model never sees it. It does not live in the mind, it lives in the pipe. Follow what that buys you. When the rule lives in the infrastructure, the model cannot reach it to argue with it. It never sees the customer record it was about to leak. It does not get a refusal, it can rephrase its way past. It gets an error, a wall it cannot talk through because the wall is not made of words. You cannot social engineer a thing that was never listening. The distinction the whole design turns on. There are 2 kinds of rule, and they must not be stored in the same place. Calibration is the ceiling, tone, verbosity, how much risk it will take. That is allowed to flex, to adapt, even to drift. It is a dial. Constitution is the floor, privacy, compliance, the ethical line it will not cross. That never moves. The ceiling can shift all it likes. The floor does not.
The mistake almost everyone makes is putting both in the same prompt. Be helpful and don't leak private data in 1 paragraph, weighted the same. So under pressure, the model trades one against the other. It leaks a little to be more helpful, because to a reasoner they are just competing instructions. They are not the same kind of thing. One is a parameter you tune. The other is a gate that does not negotiate. Stop writing them on the same line.
This is where Tiresias comes in. It splits 2 jobs that nobody else splits. One service decides whether an action is allowed under the rules. A separate service enforces that decision at the actual point of action. The model does not get a vote on either. It does not get to decide if it is allowed, and it does not get to enforce. Judgment and enforcement pulled apart on purpose. Think of a city with laws and a separate police force. The laws are written down, debated, changed. The police do not write the laws, they enforce them. So you can change the laws without rewriting the police, and replace the police without rewriting the laws. The agent is the citizen, bound by both. And at fleet scale the point sharpens. It is 1 law book. 100 agents, everyone governed by the same constitution, enforced the same way.
And the design rule that pulls it together. Fail closed, not fail open. If anything breaks, the decision service, the connection, the agent itself, the system locks down. It does not crash and dump what was in memory. A door that springs open when the power dies is not a lock. The whole point of governance is that failure makes it tighter, not looser.
Here is why this stays honest. In Tiresias, policy is data and enforcement is code, and both can be inspected. The rules are not buried in a system prompt nobody can read, drifting from what the agent actually does. You can open the law book and read it. You can read the enforcement that applies it. Nothing about how the fleet is governed is allowed to be a secret kept inside a model.
Now the payoff that only shows up at scale. 1 constitution, enforced identically across hundreds of agents. And it does not matter which model each one is running. The reasoner behind Agent 1 and the reasoner behind Agent 90 can be entirely different, and the floor beneath them is the same floor. Think about what the alternative costs you. A soft rule in a prompt means 100 prompts to keep in sync, 100 chances to drift apart. One constitution in the pipe means you stop governing 100 agents by hand. You govern the platform once. The fleet inherits it.
And this is the shift in posture underneath all of it. The Constitution is enforced cryptographically, which means the agent is treated as an untrusted component inside a trusted system. We do not trust the intelligence to behave. We trust the constraint to hold, trust the constraint, not the cleverness.
One more thing this buys you. It is auditable in a way a prompt never is. To verify a rule that lives in the model, you have to interpret behavior, probabilistic, arguable. To verify a rule in the infrastructure, you check a log. We already built the ledger for that in Season 1, the hash-chained record of every action that breaks visibly if anyone edits it. The point today is simply what it proves. Safety moves from interpretation to mathematics. Deterministic beats probabilistic. So land it here. The Constitution is the floor beneath the whole fleet's calibration. Above it, everything is allowed to move. Models get swapped, personas adapt, an agent's tone drifts warmer or sharper over 1,000 conversations. Agents spin up and tear down. All of that is the ceiling, and the ceiling is supposed to flex, but the floor does not move. Privacy, compliance, the line nobody crosses, those are not in any agent's mind to argue with. They are in the pipe, holding, while everything above them changes. That is what it means to write governance as code. The rules stop being a request and become a property of the system.
Memory, routing, governance. You have now seen every organ of the substrate, so next, we lay them all out at once. The full portfolio in one walk, from prosecution to identity to the edge, up to the legal questions still open at the top. Every patent, end to end.